back to my channel, Chronically Fabulous. Today's video is actually going to be on Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So those who've been following my channel for a little while now know that I have I don't want to say a disease, a disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, short form EDS. I don't know how I want to start this. It's a chronic pain disorder, and it's decently rare. I don't know how I want to start this, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh well. Anyway, so Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, there's like 7 or 8 different types of it, like different variations. And unlike a lot of disorders that have different variations and categories, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome has its categories where they can actually like overlap each other, which is very strange. It's like diabetic 1.5. Yeah, no, it's a very strange disorder. For me, I have type 3 Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so that basically means my joints are hypermobile and it causes muscle pain and stuff like that. The way that I've always described like how it feels for joints to slip, be it a small joint like my knuckles, or be it large joints like my shoulders or my hips, the way I usually describe it is it feels like my joints are attached to my body with elastic bands. It's like I said, it's a chronic pain disorder, so it's very uncomfortable. Anybody who's ever like dislocated anything or even subluxated, like subluxate means to partially dislocate. Anybody who's ever had that knows that it's not the most comfortable thing ever. But yeah, no, it's an invisible disability, which basically means like from the outside you look fine. Which is why I have that problem with, if you haven't seen my other video, public transit, because you look fine, but you know that you're not fine, so you do certain things and people are just like, you look fine, you can't do that. But yeah, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is basically a chronic pain disorder. For me, it dislocates or subluxates my joints. For other people, it can affect their heart. For other people, it can affect their joints and their heart. For some people, it affects their skin. For me, it affects my skin in the way that my skin bruises very easily, and my skin kind of feels like velvet. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, the way that it is, it basically affects the collagen in your body, so that's connective tissue. Anybody who's taken like grade 10 or 11 biology, like high school, will know connective tissue makes up pretty much everything in your body. It makes up your skin cells, it makes up the cells that surround your heart, it makes up the cells in your heart, it makes up your tendons and all the stuff that's around your joints. It's connective tissue because it connects things together and makes them work properly. And when you have a disorder that affects your connective tissue, it usually affects you universally. So there's different like severities, I guess you'd call it, with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and there's like this weird scale to like figure out how, like, if you've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and the severity of it. So I don't remember the name of the test. I'll put an annotation to like an article that states the test here. But one of the tests is to see if you can like bend your thumb to your forearm, and I've been doing that since I was a little kid. I didn't know that it was a thing that you shouldn't be able to do until they were just like giving me the test to diagnose me, and they were like, can you do this? So I was like, yeah, look. And they were like, So yeah, they test that, and then they test when you're standing upright, and to see you touch your, or to see how far you can bend over without bending your knees. They test flexibility in fingers. So for me, my fingers aren't as flexible as some people I've seen, but they're not exactly normal either. They test to see how far your joints go back, so I can make like a bowl with my hands because they go like really far back. I'm trying to find like a camera angle that shows it properly. But so it's like small things like that affect smaller joints, and then they test stuff that like decides larger joints if they're affected as well. Like most people who have been in a gym class will have done like this cross, this cross arm stretch where you put one arm across horizontally and you pull your other arm up around it. I can't do that because if I do that, it leverages my shoulder out. Wow. But yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to test for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Genetic testing is like on its way to EDS as of recording this video on June 24th, 2016. There is no genetic test for type 3, 5, 6, 7, A, and B. There are genetic tests for 1, 2, and 4, conveniently skipping over 3, so, because I always manage to get fucked over. But, oh well, that's a side note. Anyway. And the last point I want to touch on is like a really quick, kind of cute little note. So a lot of people have asked about my hope ribbon tattoo. I got this because it's purple. You can't really tell that it's purple, but it's purple. I got this tattoo because the purple hope ribbon is the chronic pain one. A lot of people see it for fibromyalgia, which is another chronic pain disorder. It's the most common one. And I just recently got a physical little hope tattoo, or hope ribbon from someone. Thank you, Janet Lewis and Emily Lewis. I got a hope ribbon that was zebra print because Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is as rare as finding a zebra in a field of horses, and that is why our ribbon is zebra. I hope that this little bit of like an informative video was helpful, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. It's Emily from Chronically Fabulous.